Hi, I'm happy to be back with you again. We have had a request for a 30-minute de-stressing practice, so that's what I'm going to bring to you right now. I know in this weird, strange time, that's a common description, I think. We can feel lots of different energies flowing through from other people, from our families, from our little cocoons that we've created in our environments, and within ourselves. I have definitely started to feel a little bit of unease coming out of my regular routine. So I would love to help the both of us through a little bit of stress in the body. So come down to a comfortable seat. Let's begin maybe cross-legged. I like to stagger my ankles a little bit just to feel a little bit more spaciousness, and I also feel a little bit more connection to the earth in through my sit bones. So it's up to you if you'd like to do that or cross the ankles. So I invite you to come down to some sort of seat and close the eyes. The arms can be wherever we like. The hands may be in the lap or on our knees, gently resting. Allow the breath to lift the rib cage up, away from the hips. And allow the exhale to create softness in between. To start to feel a little more connection through our sit bones, through whatever is connecting us to the ground. And a little bit of lift through the crown of our head to the sky. Let's take just a few breaths on our own here. Again, if we're feeling a little bit stressed, this might feel a little difficult to sit here quietly for a couple breaths. Give yourself some patience and kindness and compassion. As we inhale through our next few minutes, let's remember to stay open, compassionate. And as we exhale, letting go of any kind of expectations or judgment that may come up within. Maybe just one more breath in through the nose, fully in, and out through the nose, fully out. Just gently start to flutter the eyes open. Just start to look around the room that you're in. Look around at the ceiling and the walls and the floor. Let's look around and notice any colors of objects. Bringing our minds and our bodies into the present moment. Sending our inhale, bringing the arms up into the sky. The exhale draws the hands down to where our heart lives. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, gather those hands down through the heart center. And one more time. Inhale, reach, extend. Exhale, come back into the body. Wonderful. Let's just go ahead and place our right hand. We're going to bring it to the temple, our left temple. And just let the gravity and the weight of the arm allow the head to fall to the side. So we're not really forcing too much or doing much at all. We're just allowing the hand to rest by the temple. The head to tilt. Maybe we lift up the left arm and take that little arm for a walk, crawling the fingers to the side, feeling that length through the fingertips to where we're holding the head, or gently bracing the head with the fingertips of the other hand. Releasing the left arm, just relaxing it down, dropping the shoulder. And gently releasing the right hand and picking up our left. Let's bring the left hand to the temple. Again, just allowing the weight of the arm to bring the head to the side. Relaxing the shoulder. Feeling length in the neck. And maybe taking those right little fingertips for a walk, lengthening out the right arm. Feeling from the fingertips to our crown of the head to maybe the base of the neck, under the ear. And then relax the right arm, just let it droop down. Beautiful. Release our left hand and just take a moment, maybe side to side. Beautiful. Arms come up again. Big reach, inhale. Bringing the palms together on the exhale to heart center. So drawing the arms behind ourselves, we'll link and interlace the fingers toward each other, inside of each other. Let's push the fists away from the body, pull the shoulders away from the ears, keep the chin at about a 90 degree. And we're just pressing the fists away from the body, lifting the fists a little bit off of the ground, or a little bit away from the ground. Taking our fists over to the left hip, and just in between where the hip and the ribs are, we find that little indent in the side of the body, sending that left elbow to the side, lifting up really tall through the inhale, lifting the rib cage. And exhale, turning our gaze down toward that elbow, toward the left elbow. If it feels good for you, perhaps tucking the chin down toward the shoulder. Beautiful. Bringing the gaze back up toward the center. Let's bring the fists over to the other side. So over to the right side, finding that little crevice, that little spot, sending the elbow to the side. And we'll just go ahead and look down toward the elbow. Inhaling, lifting the ribcage tall. Perhaps tucking the chin in toward the shoulder. Beautiful. Let's release those arms, bring them all the way up to the ceiling, gaze up toward those hands, welcoming them back through the exhale down toward the heart center. Beautiful. Let's go for a walk forward, coming into a tabletop shape. Coming onto our hands and knees here. So the wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a moment to feel the balance between the knees, between the palms and the fingertips. Maybe we lean a little forward and a little back. Maybe circles with the body. One direction and the other. Beautiful. Now where our palms are, where our wrists are, our elbows are going to go, oh my goodness. Come back down onto our elbows and our hands, pressing into the palms, pressing into the elbows, lengthening out the arms, finding space in the neck, space in the shoulders, space in the chest. In through the nose, out through the nose here. Now allowing our weight to shift over to the left side ever so slightly. Perhaps you'd like to tuck your toes, that's absolutely up to you here. Leaning over to the left side so that we can extend the right leg behind ourselves. Pointing through the ball of the foot, push the ball of the foot away from you. Now let's start to press into the palms, press into the elbows, start to push the mat away from you and press the toes behind you. Pressing into the top of the left shin, the top of the left foot, resisting the urge to lean back. So let's push into those palms, pushing through the ball of the foot, finding a pushing and a pulling sensation here. Inhale. Exhale to draw the right knee toward the outside of the right shoulder. Bring it in tight as you can, and inhale to extend that leg through the ball of the foot. Exhale to draw the knee in to the outside of the shoulder, outside the tricep. Inhale to lengthen out. One more time. Exhale, drawing it in. And inhale, reaching it out. Let's go ahead and release the right knee down. Take a moment here to switch the hips back and forth if that feels good for you. And then we'll switch our weight just slightly over to the right side so we can extend the left leg behind ourselves. Again, pushing through the ball of the foot. Pressing into the palms, pressing into those elbows to lengthen out to find space. Pushing into the palms. Start to reach that foot behind you as far back as you possibly can. Pressing into the top of the right ankle, the top of the right knee, so that we can press the ground away and push the leg behind ourselves. Beautiful. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bring the left knee in toward the outside of the tricep, the outside of the left arm. Inhale to reach. Exhale to draw it in. Inhale to reach. And exhale to bring it in. Last time to reach it out. And set the knee down. Shift the hips back and forth. Take a moment here. Let's kiss our big toes together here. Press into the palms to send the hips back toward the heels. Walk yourself back into a child's pose shape. Reaching our fingertips as far forward as we possibly can, bringing our palms shoulder width apart. Let's bring ourselves forward, shoulders over wrists. Separate the toes. Inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, draw the elbows in toward the ribcage. Send the chest down, long neck. Inhale to press the ground away, long arms. And exhale to draw back. Just lengthening out the arms here, not necessarily looking for a full child's pose, just lengthening out here, finding some space in the low back. Inhale, forward into our kneeling plank. Exhale, come down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, glide back. Let's do this a few times. Inhale, perhaps tucking the toes. Exhale, coming down. Lift up to breathe in. And glide back, let it out. 2 more flows here. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale that kneeling plank. Press the ground away. Exhale, bend the elbows in. Inhale, press the ground away. And exhale, draw it back. Coming back through to a tabletop shape. We'll tuck the toes if they aren't already. Send the hips up and back. Press into those heels. Press into the heels of the palms a little bit so we can push ourselves back. Pedaling the heels if that feels good for you. Maybe swaying the hips a little bit, settling into this down dog. We'll take our flow just a little bit higher. Pressing back into our hips, into those heels. Inhale, coming forward to a plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, take a moment here. Press the ground away, feel strong. Feel the inner line of the body, everything gathering in toward the center to keep us strong in this shape. Feeling the outer edges of the shoulders come down or be pulled and drawn down toward the ground. And the upper shoulders and the inside of the shoulders rather puff up toward the ground or toward the ceiling. Beautiful, inhale here. Exhale, push through those toes, start to bend the elbows, draw the shoulders forward, come down. Untuck the toes, inhale, little cobra here, push the ground away from you with those palms. Beautiful, exhale to come down. Inhale, tuck those toes, come up and back to downward dog. Pedal, take a moment here. Let's do 1 more flow together. Inhale to our plank pose. Exhale, bending through, lowering down. Inhale to pull the gaze up. Exhale to come down. Inhale, up and back, a downward dog. Let's have a look between our thumbs. Walk our step to the top of the mat. Find ourselves in a forward fold here. Soften the knees. Let the arms fall toward the ground. Let the crown of the head be pulled toward the earth. Release as much as we possibly can here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Feel the swell of the breath in the back of the body. Inhale, a halfway lift, hands to the shins. Press into the shins ever so slightly to pull the shoulders back, lifting the ribcage forward. Inhale to breathe into the upper chest. Exhale to scoop the belly in and fold. And again, inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, belly into fold. Inhale to rise, arms come up, big, tall stretch. Long stretch in those arms, hands down toward the heart center. Inhaling up again, big reach. Exhale, hands through heart. Beauty. Let's take our feet a little wider than our hips, maybe almost as wide as our yoga mat is if we're on a mat. I'm just going to turn myself around so you can see what we're doing here. Beautiful. Hands to our heart center here to start. Eyes closed. Turning the toes out ever so slightly. Starting to bend down in the knees. Coming down and down and down into a squat shape. Lower and lower and lower. If you need something to reach you when you get there, place something underneath the bum. If you need something under the heels, a rolled up blanket or something underneath the heels, feel free if you feel better being lifted. But if our heels touch down, allow that to happen. Pressing those palms together, drawing them in toward the heart center, lifting the chest up. Chin at about a 90 degree. We feel proud in this position, strong, long. Allow the breath to flow easily through. Feel the breath coming through our pelvis, through the hips, toward the knees. Then we can stay here for a couple breaths if this feels pretty nice for you. If you'd like to try a different variation, we can absolutely turn this into a little bit of a twist. So we can start to extend the left arm to the side. It's a nice long arm in this inside of the left leg, pressing the palm down. Lifting up through the right arm. Reaching the fingertips toward the ceiling. Perhaps the gaze lifts as well. And then exhale to bring the arm down. Let's do the other side. Extend the right arm, lift up the left, maybe gaze toward, bracing the arm with the leg with the arm. And exhale to bring it down. Maybe one more variation. Perhaps we'd like to turn this into a little bit of a bind and de-stress some of our shoulders. So let's reach the left arm down and around toward the back. The palm faces out, the back of the hand faces in. We bring the right arm around and find those fingers, find those hands toward each other. Turn myself around a little bit so you can absolutely see what we're doing here. So we're reaching around, pressing, holding, and opening up the right shoulder as much as we can. Pulling back, opening up, perhaps the gaze lifts as well. Good. We'll come back toward the center. And we'll wrap around the other way. So let's bring the right arm around the back. Palm faces out. Wrap our left arm around. Find those fingertips or clothing. And open up our left shoulder. Maybe bring the gaze up. And we'll release. Come back to the center. Walk our hands forward. Tuck the chin in. And just a nice long stretch here. Walking the hands toward you. Draw the hands back into heart center. And let's lift ourselves back up to standing. So what we're going to do here is imagine that our feet are ripping the mat apart. We're getting a grip of the mat with our feet and then we're pulling them apart. So let's bring the hands into heart center. Ground through the feet. Push and pull. Push into the ground and pull the feet apart to lift ourselves back up. Beautiful. Arms raise up with us. Long, tall stretch. And exhale through the heart. Let's bring our toes back in. Walk the feet out if that feels good for you. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, a half lift. Exhale to fold down. Inhale, tall stretch all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale, fold forward. Fold so deep that we can plant our palms down onto the ground and step back to a downward dog. A nice long stretch back, pedal the heels. Take a moment here for yourself. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and lift our right leg up and back, pushing through the ball of the foot. Drawing the knee to the chest, pushing through and stepping toward the hands into a lunge shape. Let's push through our right foot to come up to the thigh. Lifting the ribcage high on the inhale, exhale to release back down. Stepping back to a downward dog. Let's pedal a little bit here. Next inhale, lifting up the left leg, up and back, through the ball of the foot. Exhale, knee toward the chest, stepping through toward the hands, coming into a lunge shape, up toward the thigh. Inhale to lift the rib cage, and exhale to release back down. Stepping back to downward dog, pressing into the hands, pedal the heels. Let's go ahead and bring the knees back down toward the ground. Open up the knees or close them, depending on how you feel. If the low back is chatting a little bit, perhaps you'd like the knees closed, coming into a more supported child's pose. Otherwise, if we'd like to have those hips open, feel free to have them open and settle in. And just one more nice deep breath here in child's pose. Maybe it feels nice to wiggle out of child's pose as we start to find the hands, walk the hands toward ourselves and into an all fours shape, bringing the feet away from each other, the knees underneath the hips, the wrists under the shoulders, looking between the thumbs. Press the ground away from yourself to feel the shoulders come down toward the ground, to feel the upper spine lift up from the body. And just gazing between the thumbs here, feeling steady and long in the spine. And on our next inhale, so start to bring the tail up, just the tail. Bring the tail up as high as you possibly can, tilting that pelvis, looking between the thumbs, and feel a squeeze in the low back. And on our next inhale, let's imagine where the bottom edge of the rib cage is and see if we can press the bottom edge of the rib cage down toward the ground, pushing into the palms at the same time. And then the next inhale, pulling the mat toward you ever so slightly to draw the chest forward and the chin lifts. Beautiful. Exhale to bring just the tail in, to feel a little bit of straight, a little bit of stretch into the top portion of the shoulders. Beautiful. Next exhale, bringing the bottom of the ribcage in toward the body. And next exhale, pressing into the palms to round all the way, drawing the chin in toward the chest. Good. Inhale, the tail comes up. We drop the belly, the ribs, and pull the chest forward. And exhale, we go the other way. The tail comes in, we round the spine, tuck the chin. One more time. Inhale, the tail comes up. Lift ourselves forward. Inhale. Exhale, the tail comes in, we round the spine. Back to a neutral shape here, switching our knees to the side and coming into a seated shape, drawing our legs in front of ourselves. I'll turn myself around this way, sending our feet forward. Just taking a nice inhale, finding some balance between our sit bones, maybe wiggling around a little bit to feel equal pressure on each side. Big inhale up, arms up with us. Exhale through the heart. One more inhale up. Exhale through the heart. Bringing our palms down toward the ground, pointing our fingertips toward where our feet are and drawing the palms underneath the shoulders. You can come into a little bit of a reversed plank or reversed tabletop. It's up to you which shape you'd like to make. Let's work our way into it. So we're just going to press the palms in toward the ground, lengthening out those arms, feeling a stretch in the wrists. And then release. Let's do that again, firming up into the heels and lifting the hips this time. Inhale, press into the ground. Start to lift the hips up. I like to walk the feet away a little bit, finding the heels, pointing the toes away from myself, pressing into our palms, feeling that really intense rotation in the shoulders, feeling the hips lift, and perhaps our toes are able to touch the ground. Let's get a grip of the ground with our toes, kind of pull it in toward yourself, lift the hips. Good, let's hold for 3 breaths. If this isn't the shape for us, we can be in a tabletop shape, bringing our feet in and bent, drawing the hips up, feeling that rotation still. Let's go one more breath to wherever we ended up. Big inhale. And exhale, slowly releasing down. Bending the knees enough to plant the feet. Wrapping the arms around and just giving ourselves a little bit of support, a little bit of caving in. And inhale, let's come out of our little cocoon. Start to straighten out the legs, coming onto our backs. Releasing down. Lengthening out the legs, lengthening out the arms. Let's make a nice long stretch, reaching the fingertips away from the toes. Then bending the elbows, let the feet fall away. Just relax down. Take just a couple more breaths here. On our next inhale, start to bend the knees, planting the feet one at a time. Let's walk the feet as wide as the mat is and let the knees tent in toward each other. Feel the support in the low back. That release down toward the ground. Let the belly fall on the exhale. Let's do one more little stretch before we come down for Shavasana. So something to find and notice the difference between tension and release. Let's go ahead and bring the knees in toward the chest. And sending the heels up toward the sky. So if you like to hold onto the backs of the legs for a moment, feel free to do so. If it feels interesting to let them go, let them go. If you'd like to, maybe the hands over the head, bending the elbows, feeling some open breath in the chest, and really engaging our abdominals here. So pressing those heels to the ceiling, trying to point the heels to the ceiling. So this requires us to use a little bit more of our lower abdominals to lift those legs up toward the ceiling. If it's a little bit intense, we can choose to release them slightly, turning them down slightly. Let's try to pull them up as high as we can. Shining through those heels. Nice big breath here. And then dropping the left leg about halfway. So coming into sort of a scissor shape. Shining through those heels, noticing the intensity here. Maybe it feels nice to link at the back of the right leg just to give yourself a little release, a little support. Maybe it feels interesting just to take the next couple breaths this way. Feeling the energy through the legs, the power through the legs, through our body. And next inhale, even though we find it a little difficult, I'm sure, let's bring that left leg up to meet the right. Take an inhale, release the right leg about halfway. Shine through those heels again. It's up to you if you'd like to link to the back of the left thigh for a little support or release for 2 more breaths. Push through those heels. Feel the power that lives within the body. 1 more. Next inhale, draw that right leg back up to meet the left. Bend the knees and draw them into chest. Maybe we'd like to wrap the arms around, close the eyes, and take a moment to feel that difference between tension and release. Feel the release through the ankles, through the calf, through that shin muscle, that shin bone down the side, all those little muscles in the side. Maybe we like to cup the hands or hold on to our wrists and let the knees drop a little bit open and breathe through the little triangle in the center of the body, in the center of the pelvis, in our hips. And just a couple more long breaths here. Feel the connection on our spine through the ground, the weight of the body being received by the earth. And gently closing the knees like a book, we'll set our feet down and start to walk them away, lengthening out the body, coming into Shavasana. Again, maybe it feels nicer to support the low back. That's up to you if that feels good and needed. Maybe it feels nice to just open up wide, turning the palms toward the ceiling, finding those little micro adjustments we may need to feel just right in our Shavasana. If we find that we're more comfortable in our bellies, feel free to flip ourselves over. But if it feels nice to lay on the back, I encourage you to do so. Just allow your body to settle. And the arms to feel heavy, the legs, the shoulders and the hips. Maybe a little body scan here. Noticing and feeling the soles of the feet, the bottoms of the feet. And the palms of the hands, the pads of the fingers. And the backs of the feet, the backs of the hands. Toes and fingers. Ankles and wrists. The lower half of the leg. The upper half of the legs and the knees. The lower half of the arms, the upper half of the arms, and the elbows in between. Now the weight and the complexity of the hips, the weight and the complexity of the shoulders. Feel the belly drop. The head is heavy. Face is relaxed. And just allow yourselves this time, these few moments, to integrate movement, thoughts, feelings. Just give yourself time to work through it all and to let it all go. And I promise I'll bring you back when it's time to come back. Staying exactly where we are. Enjoying whatever there is to enjoy. Feel whatever there is to feel. Stillness in the body. A peace of mind. That magic. Start to find a little bit of awareness into the tips of our fingers. Taking our thumbs and dragging them across the fingertips. Feeling a little bit of the nervous system wake up. Maybe wiggle the toes and wiggle the fingers. Let's go ahead and make really tight fists with the hands and squeeze those fists super duper duper tight. And then open them up wide, spread the fingers. And then the toes, let's make our toes and our feet into little fists, tight, 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 tight. And then spread them wide. Bring the arms overhead, point the toes. Let's reach, fingers away, toes away, long body. Drawing the knees in toward the chest. Roll ourselves over to the right side of the body. And pressing ourselves up, coming into a seated shape of our liking. Finding a comfortable seat when we feel ready. Closing the eyes. I invite you to place one of your hands on your chest and one on your belly. Just hold yourself. Whatever that means to you, hold yourself. Let's take a really big breath in, fill up as much as you can. And then let it all go. My heart is at ease knowing what's meant for me will not pass me by, and what passes me by was not meant for me. Let's bring our arms up together, one big sun breath to end our practice, hands down toward the heart center on our exhale. The love and the light in me truly honors the love and the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much.